Hi everyone, it's Michelle here from 3Ps, and today I wanted to share with you an Easter card idea that I had for anyone who might not have a whole lot of materials. So if all you've got is just some basic cardstock and maybe a couple stickers and a washi tape or something like that, you don't really have a whole lot of embellishments, but you could actually come up with a fairly cute, pretty cute little Easter card here that's made pretty much out of just paper scraps. So what I did is I took a note card, a regular 3x5 note card. And the thing about note cards is that they will, if you draw something, I think I showed last year in a Father's Day cards that I did where I made the little hammers and the ties. The same kind of idea applies here, but I just want to do like an egg shape. And as long as it fits within a 3x5 card, whatever you're drawing or whatever you're trying to cut out, it will fit on a standard card. So the 4 1/4 cards. So go. So you see it'll fit like right in the center. So that's basically what I did. I drew out an egg shape, cut it out. I just free-handed this, but maybe you've got, you know, a computer. You could print out an egg shape stencil and just cut it out or something like that. And then I basically just took a scrap, I had a big scrap of green paper, and I drew on it and then cut out the egg. So you could either, you know, cut away the center with a pair of scissors. I trimmed it here with a little box cutter. You might have an X-Acto knife or something that you could trim out the inside part of the frame. So it gives you like a little Easter egg frame or a big cutout in the middle. And then what I did is I took some paper scraps, just remnants of paper that I had lying around from previous, you know, projects I was working on, and I just cut strips. You could tear the strips if you wanted them to look, you know, torn or a little bit more rugged, what do you call it, like rugged looking. You could rip the paper and put it in there. You could always just use regular, you know, construction paper. Maybe your kids want to make some Easter cards and you want to keep it pretty simple for them. They could help you tear long strips of paper, and then you could layer the paper up behind the opening. And let me kind of show you real quick how I put that together. I'll get here's my piece of green. And then I just took my egg shape and I just traced it. So let me grab a pen here. Pencil would probably be better, but a pen is what I have handy. So you would just trace that out, and then kind of like when you did in school, when you try to cut out the center of something, you could just snip the center like this, so that you've got a little opening, and then cut out around the middle. And cut this out really fast. And this is just a simple and easy, or what I think is a simple and easy Easter card. If you want to make your own Easter cards and you're just getting started, or maybe you don't have a lot of supplies, or you don't have a lot of crafty items, or maybe you wanted something that you can make with your kids. You know, kids like to get involved with crafts, and they can help you. You know, you might have to help them with this part, you know, cut out the circle or whatever, but or cut out the egg shape. But with just some basic materials, and like I said, if all you've got is construction paper, go for it. Doesn't have to be cardstock. Construction paper will work. Now this is a pretty rough cutout here. I'm trying to hurry up because I don't want y'all to have to watch me cut out an egg. But I just kind of didn't want to skip over anything. So then you would just trim out your egg. Okay. And you would clean yours up. You know, you would take your time and trim it out and not be as fast as I was being. Here's a rough little egg shape. So you'll take your time and cut yours out a little bit better than what I did here. But then you would just take your paper scraps And, well, these have already got, save those for something else. But you would just take your, your scraps and just layer them across the back like this of the opening. Whatever sizes that you have, they don't have to be exact. Like these are two different sizes here. Let's see. How many other? I've got some purple here. Can use some purple. Just a little strip of this. Okay. So then you could just take you a couple more strips and cut them down. Like I said, you could always tear them. You want to give it that kind of ripped look. And then just keep layering up your papers across your egg here. And to keep it on the cheap, or, to keep the cost down a little bit, you can just tape these together. Let's see, I have a big pink piece here. You just use regular old Scotch tape and tape the back of this up. So you've got down all your papers. I'm just going to use some Scotch tape. My tape is a little loud. Try not to pull on it a lot, I guess. So you could just use some Scotch tape and tape up the back of your paper, if that's all you have. Sorry about the loud tape dispenser. It is pretty loud. Let's see. So then you would just keep taping up your paper strips. And it doesn't have to be perfect or anything like that. I mean, obviously you can glue this down. I would kind of avoid wet glue because it is, paper, and sometimes it'll come through. The other side. I moved my tape dispenser away from the... I hope that was less loud. I don't know why the tape is so loud. But it is what it is. And then you just keep taping up the back of your scraps until you cover up the little opening that you've made. And this is really easy way for kids to, if they want to make some Easter cards for somebody, maybe they'll make some for Grandma and Grandpa. Oh, you want to make sure you tape it down to the opening. So if you don't really have, like a whole lot of craft stuff, but you'd like to try and make something, I think the materials for this are pretty basic stuff. You can probably find construction paper at Dollar Tree, probably pretty cheap at Walmart. So there we have it. And you would just kind of trim up the sides here from where any extras hanging over. Trim that up. And you would take your time. You would cut this out, probably neater than what I'm doing right now. Like this. Now, on the cards that I made, I rounded the corners. So if you have a corner rounder, if you want to, round it by hand, you can. Like that. So you can always round the corners, or if you have a corner rounder, you can do that. And I'm sure if you try to do this yourself, you'll probably be a lot neater and take your time. So, but you got the basic idea here. And so you would just take your egg, your egg opening with your layered paper. I'm just using scraps of solid ones that I have. But maybe you've got some polka dot paper, some kind of flower paper. You just got scraps of something that you want to use. Maybe you've got wrapping paper, some pretty, wrapping paper that's got flowers on it or something. So it doesn't necessarily have to be cardstock. You can use construction paper, any scraps of paper that you have. And so after you do all that, then you can just layer it up with anything that you have around. Now, I just happen to have some of these eggs left from the Target ones that I got for $1. You know, so I'm trying to use some of these up on some various little projects. And then the other thing I used was this washi tape that I found at Dollar Tree. It's purple with little Easter eggs on it. It's the only Easter themed washi tape that I have. But even if you don't have washi tape, I mean, you could probably put down, you know, put some glue down and glitter it up or something. Maybe your daughter has some hair ribbons, some old hair ribbons. You could recycle those and use them on a card. Or you've got some kind of pretty little, like I said, maybe your daughter had like hair bows with little flowers on it. You know, you can use those as embellishments and glue them to cards. So you don't necessarily have to go out and buy a whole lot of craft supplies to get started on something, you know, trying to get started on craft projects. Now, the other thing I did do in this particular case is I did stamp the word happy. I have a big happy stamp. This is a Heidi Swap stamp set that I got on clearance at, where did I get this? Hobby Lobby for $1.29. And it came with the word happy and a bunch of other sayings. Remember you, it's got different words. But I took the happy and I stamped the word happy on a piece of green cardstock that I had. And then I just used some markers. I used these American Craft markers, but you could use Crayola markers, Sharpies, use crayons, colored pencils, and I just colored in the word happy. But this is a pretty basic font. You could probably draw this out with the word happy. And then I just took a Sharpie, a black Sharpie, and wrote the word Easter. So it says Happy Easter across it. And then I just cut it out, fussy cut it out by hand, and I glued that on. And then another thing you can do with paper scraps is you can make little bows. Get some scrap paper here. Now, these aren't the fanciest bows in the world. I'm not a very good bow maker. But if you're like me and not a very good bow maker, then you can kind of fudge it a little bit and make it look like a bow. So I'm going to show you how I put this one together. All right, so I basically just cut out a long strip, a long skinny strip, maybe about a 1/4 inch wide or 1/2 inch wide. And I kind of just eyeballed how big I wanted the loops to be. And I folded them in on each other. Now, if all you have is Scotch tape to hold this down, then you can do that. You can certainly use Scotch tape to tape that down. I'm just going to use a little glue dot. Dollar Tree does have glue dots. These right here are from Forever in Time. I like the ones at Dollar Tree because they cut very easily. When you cut through them, if you want to make them mini dots. These ones from Forever in Time, the glue likes to stick to your scissors. So that's why I like the ones from Dollar Tree. Because you can cut right through them and make them into smaller dots if you need smaller dots. Okay. So then, I'm just going to put this little 1/2 glue dot on here. And I'm going to push that in like that. Okay. And then I'm going to take the other 1/2 of that glue dot. If you don't have any of this stuff, you can certainly use Scotch tape. Whatever you got laying around. The idea here is that you can take very basic supplies and make crafts. You don't have to have a ridiculous amount of stuff, ridiculous amount of items. So then you would just take like a marker or a straw or something you can slide into these little side pieces and kind of curve it out a little bit. Okay, so that's the basic centerpiece that you've got there. Okay, then I'm going to take, now on this one I actually use washi tape, but for now I'm just going to use this here. So again, I'm going to take another dot. I'm out of the ones from Dollar Tree, so I'm having to use these. And like I said, see, it sticks to your scissors. They're quite messy. Ugh. These little ones here from... I got them at a local dollar store. And, you know, of course they were $1. But I definitely like the ones at Dollar Tree better. The Glue Dot brand of glue dots. So I'm going to press that down there. Okay, and then I'm just going to wrap it around the center here. Okay. Taking the other half of the glue dot. Uh-oh, it's just a ball of glue. I'm still going to use it though. Okay. Just put it on the wrong side. Okay, and then I'm going to wrap this little scrap around. Snipping that off. Okay, so this is what it looks like so far. So you've got your two little side pieces and then the part in the middle. And you can play with this paper and kind of push up the little bow sides there. Sharpie might work better. Just kind of rounding off the sides like that. Okay, so you've got your little bow shape. And then I take the last little piece that looks like this and I'm going to fold it like a V, like that. Okay, so you've got a little V shape. And again, I'm going to glue that down, this time using the whole dot. And if you've got craft glue, that'll work on this too. It doesn't have to be these glue dots. It's just what I happen to have. I need to stop squishing the side of the bow. Alright, and then you're going to take your little V shape and match it up to the back. You're going to press that down. So now you've got a little paper bow. I'm sure it's not the fanciest or nicest paper bows in the world, but it's how I make them. Or how I make these. I tried some origami paper bows once and it didn't come out very well, so. Okay. So there you go. You've got yourself a little paper bow. Now I like to make the little tails. And you simply cut in at a little triangle here. To make the little ribbon tails. Okay, so there you go. And you've got a little bow. So then you could take a little bow and add it to your card. This one I've already got made up here. So you could add a little bow to your card. You could put, if you've got some kind of embellishments, maybe you've got some little jewels, little gems. You can find some stuff like this pretty cheap. I think I got this one at Michael's on clearance. Well, it doesn't say clearance, but it was like 75 cents. You know, maybe you've got stuff like that laying around. Maybe you've got some little butterfly embellishments. Dollar Tree a lot of times has a lot of stuff. You can check out the dollar spots at Target. Where is it? Michael's. Check clearance at Hobby Lobby. But for the most part, you can take what was pretty much just paper, simply just paper, create yourself a little template, a simple shape like an egg from a note card, and put you together a pretty cute little Easter card. I didn't stamp anything on the inside. It's pretty basic. The idea here, like I was saying, is that if you don't really have a whole lot of craft supplies, I mean, I don't have a whole lot of craft supplies. I would say the bulk of the videos and crafts that I make are, I guess, targeted towards people who don't have a lot of crafts supplies and showing how you can make things with pretty basic stuff. And I think this card here, and just making some little paper bows, you know, you could also make some little paper eggs, and you can put together a pretty cute little Easter card with some paper. So, yeah. So I think this turned out pretty good on this one here. I did some, like, a little stitching with a Sharpie along the edges, and I drew some lines on the paper scraps to kind of, you know, make it pop a little bit. So yeah. I hope this gave you some ideas or an idea of something you could do if you want to make you some Easter cards for this Easter season. Thank you so much for watching today, everyone, and y'all have a great day. Bye-bye now.